Okay, diagnosis and the DSM. So in this lesson we're going to introduce classification systems and oh, where am I going here? Okay, so we'll do a little bit of review where we've gone, just to bring kids up to speed. They might have had a whole weekend to forget about it. And as I said in the previous video, we'll look at how classification systems can help us distinguish normality from abnormality. That is their primary purpose. In other words, how and why is DSM used in the diagnosis of disorders? That's what we're looking at. There's a crossword puzzle for the unit. They can solve it online if they like, and that can be a little bit of a recap. And then this is a good video for them to watch. And by can't get his last name. 5 minutes, and they try and identify at least 2 points that are being made, and then afterwards see if they agree or disagree. And so he argued that except for a few exceptions, mental illnesses weren't really illnesses as we know them. So yeah, you can watch that, and then it's a good hook. Bit of chalk and talk about introducing classification systems. Now, now here are a couple of activities that I do like, and that I might decide to do in my class because I do like them. So there's a file that has a list of symptoms. This is in the activities file, and they have to try to identify the disorder from the symptoms of the DSM. So they're using the DSM. So okay, these are the disorders, right? These are the symptoms, and what might it have? What the disorder might be. And if they struggle with this, if they struggle, you're not going to give them the disorders. They just have all the symptoms, and they go, okay, what could that be? And then if they can't do that, then you might want to give them the list of disorders, and then they just try and match the name with the symptoms. So the file is in the activities file. Okay. There's another activity where you can have divide the class in half. Half of the psychologists, the therapists, the other half are people seeking treatment, and they're going to see whether or not they'd get a diagnosis if they have PTSD, and they've got a checklist there, and the character summaries are again in the activities files. So it's pretty hard to explain this verbally. I think go and have a look at the cards, cut it out, and try and wrap your head around it. But I think this is a really good activity for students. It gets a lot of movement, engagement, and then you start to see the difficulty, right? Because not everyone fits in the nice, neat boxes. I deliberately wrote some of the character summaries so they're a little bit ambiguous. And then you get sometimes you have to make a judgment, and it's not always black and white, and so that's part of the reason why we're doing the activity, and it's the issue with these DSMs and these classification systems, that while they can be helpful, things aren't always black and white, and that's what we want them to get. But hopefully they can, by the end of the activity, they'll be able to answer this guiding question about classification systems, and they'll use the textbook if they need it. Okay, then we can use some traffic lights as a reflection to see how well they know these key terms. Okay, next lesson, validity and reliability of diagnosis. That's the next one we're going to get into.